Hey guys, welcome to Troy Time. Hey, I just wanted to have a quick little chat today. I wanted to talk about a couple things. I meet a lot of people and I talk to people and I try and encourage them to, prepare a little bit. And so they're always asking me, are you a prepper? And I usually say I'm a little bit of a prepper, right? I don't like the word prepper, right? I think that word's kind of been stolen. When you hear prepper, people think doomsday prepper, right? So they think like the first question everyone asks me, oh, do you have a bunker in your backyard? Do you have a nuclear fallout shelter? I'm like, no, I don't have that. It's not reasonable, to think that everyone should have that in their backyard or anywhere. That's not. It's just, I'm not storing food for the entire rest of the apocalypse. I don't think that's a lot of people are going to think that's kind of crazy talk, right? And that's not at all what I'm doing. And it's hard to make people kind of understand that. I think that there's a real bad stigma attached to that part of prepping. Other words that I've heard to describe it are called emergency preparedness. I think that's a little closer, but that's got a little different feel to it as well, because that makes it sound like you're only going to put stuff away and you're just never going to use it only in an emergency, and there's only certain cases. And most people are kind of attach that term to like hurricanes and tornadoes and things like that. But there's so much more on the spectrum of things to be prepared for. And so I don't really like any of those. I like self-sustaining. I like to be self-sufficient. I like those words. And so, if a lot of people think, well, it's crazy to have, a bunker in your backyard, like I say, that kind of thing. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have people that are not prepared at all, and that's just as crazy. I think COVID has shown us that if you didn't think stupid stuff could happen and chaos could be around the corner, I think everybody knows it's possible now, and it's probable. There's a lot of stuff going on these days in the world. There's a ton of stuff. So in like the prepper community, what people call it is the poly crisis, because there's so many things. There's like 10 different things to be concerned about, and as each one of those elevates, it has a synergistic effect on the other ones. And so it just makes perfect sense to do something, to prepare. So I try to encourage people to get on board and prepare a bit, right? So what's reasonable? If it's crazy to have, try and store food for the rest of your life in a bunker, and it's crazy to do nothing, where is that line? That's kind of what the point of this video is. So for me, what I think is a really good measure, what is a really good goal, I like to call it the 1 month mentality, okay? So what we want you to do is we want you to prepare yourself to be self-sufficient in about 7 key areas for 1 month, okay? I think that's a great goal. I think it's going to set you in a place where you'll be comfortable and you'll have time, you'll have the cushion and the barrier of time if things do get bad. You'll have a level of preparedness that goes well beyond 99% of other people, all right? So I think that's important. So I think 1 month goal is important, okay? So the next question is, well, what categories, okay? Well, there's 7 basic categories in my mind, okay? I'll try and list them right now off the top of my head in my priority order. So it's gonna be water, okay? It's gonna be food. It's gonna be fuel. It's gonna be self-protection. It's gonna be electricity. It's gonna be medical and hygiene. And it's going to be sanity, right? So by medical and hygiene, I mean like meds, but then also cleaning products for yourself and for your house, right? And the sanity ones is like you want to more than just survive. So I'm thinking like games, video games, dice, do hobby stuff. If you do quilting, then get yarn, stuff to make your quality of life good. You don't just want to, be trying to get by just fighting tooth and nail with no enjoyment in your life either. So sanity is an important one as well. But yeah, so you want to have enough of 1 month to get by 1 month of that stuff, and it's not hard to do, right? And a lot of that stuff, you can put it away and it's going to last you for 20 years. You can get a water filter today for 20 bucks and you're covered. There's more to it. I'll talk about water, but generally that water filter, you can stick it away. It's going to last 50 years sitting in a closet. So over the next 50 years, do you think there's a possibility that maybe you might be under a boil notice? Absolutely. You might be this year or next year. So something like a solar panel, right? You can stick a solar panel away, and again, 20 years from now, it'll be sitting there ready to go. Even if you use it every single day, for 20 years, it's still going to have 80% of its capacity. So once you spend that little bit of money on these things, they're going to be ready for basically the rest of your life, right? So it only makes sense to prepare in these few categories, get things online, get things going. Food, a lot of you can put food away that lasts for 30 years once you store it, and that's easy to do. But the reason I like the 1 month mentality is because it forces people to take action. Okay, so in all these different categories, it's going to force people to take action. So nobody's going to, like when a hurricane comes, they want you to get a gallon of water per person per day, right? But no one's going to store, if you're 2 or 3 people, 150 gallons of water in your garage. It's like you got to go beyond that. You got to go beyond that. You got to go. Sorry, the planes. You got to go beyond that. You got to go to where you can actually self-sustain. So the water filter is a perfect example of that. So you can get some bottled water, maybe in your garage or whatever, but then you want a water filter so that you can filter water, and then maybe like a rain collection. And you don't need millions of gallons of it, a couple 5-gallon buckets. We'll go over that. But there's some simple things that you can do in each one of those categories and not spend a lot of money to get yourself prepared for that 1 month, okay? And so I think 1 month is a real reasonable thing. It makes you very reasonable, prepared, and it'll give you some experience and some judgment. And for certain items, you may say, hey, 1 month's not enough. Like if you've got a certain medical condition, then your medical stuff might need 2 or 3 months. So you want to look into that. But doing it for 1 month will give you that experience and that visibility to know what else you need to do if you want to go further in certain areas or things like that. Okay, so I think it just gets everyone in the game. It's not easy to do it. I mean, it's not hard to do a month, but it's not easy either. So it'll get people to take action. So no one's, if a hurricane comes by, people might be like, oh, I'll make it through, and I got some food in the pantry, I got a jar of peanut butter and a few canned SpaghettiOs or whatever. But that's not going to do it for a month. So if you're trying to go 1 month of sustainability, you need to have an actual little kit. You need to actually plan a little bit, actually put some food away in like a kit, and have a month's worth of food. And it's like that in each category. Electricity the same way. Even if you've got a gas generator, I'm begging you, please get some solar on board. Who's storing, if gas isn't an option, like let's say there's a cyber attack or just there's a number of reasons why gas might not be available as well. But if power's out for a month, which is likely scenario, the gas generator, you're not going to have enough fuel for a month, right? But a solar panel is going to bring that stuff in every day, almost every day when it's sunny. Even when it's cloudy, it's going to be bringing in some power, but almost every day. So get some solar on board, and that's going to last, some of that stuff's going to last, a long, long time. You can make an investment, and not even an investment, some of the stuff's pretty cheap, but then it's going to be there for you for the rest of your life, for 20 years, 30 years for a lot of this stuff. And so there's some simple things you can do. I'm going to make a video on each category as we go, but the whole thrust of this is just to kind of talk plainly and just be like, look guys, it's time to prepare. There's things on board. We're in what we call the poly crisis, right? I'll make another video quick. I'm a real positive, happy guy. I don't like to dwell on, here's the negative and here's all this stuff that's looming, but there's some stuff to really be concerned about, okay? There's about 10 different things and they all affect, each one. We got to worry that economics are a real problem right now, guys. Hyperinflation and crash of the dollar and changing over. The digital currency has its own challenges and things. So that's kind of stuff that people don't think about when they think preparedness or emergency preparedness and that kind of stuff. But that one's, we got COVID. I'll make a list. I don't want to be the negative guy droning on this is what you need to worry about. I'll make one video for that so you can kind of get in my head and see what my thoughts are. But the whole thrust of what I'm trying to say in this video, I don't want to go on too long, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. I like to have fun. I like to play around on the videos and be fun and stuff, but there's a time for true talk, and it's time for people to really start getting prepared. There's a lot of stuff on the horizon, and any one of them, even if you thought, let's say there's 10, this is what I'm trying to express. Let's say the poly crisis includes 10 things you need to be worried about, right? But they also stretch out over the next 10 years. None of this stuff is getting better. So even if you only give it 1% chance on any of them, right? Well, then there's 10 different items, so that's 10% chance that something can happen. And then that's in every single of the next 10 years. So, if you think about it kind of from a realistic, probable standpoint, there's a good chance in the next 10 years that at least one of these things will happen. And as any one of these 10 increase, it bumps the other ones up. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff, coming even in the near term that's concerning. So it's time to start prepping. I don't like that word, but it's time to start preparing yourself. It's time to get to a place where you can be self-sufficient for 1 month. That's a reasonable goal. That's not crazy talk. It's not people, saying, it's the end of the world, but you need to be in a place where you can be comfortable and to be surviving and sustaining in, our modern century. If the lights go out for a long while, a lot of people are going to revert back to like 1800s using candles until they run out, right? And things like that. It's just, there's some simple steps that you can take that are inexpensive. That's part of what I do with my channel. If you look, a lot of my stuff on the channel might seem unrelated to you. Well, he's growing hydroponics over here, and he's growing microgreens over here, and he's canning over here, and he's doing solar stuff over there. That's kind of techie stuff. How is that all related? It's all about self-sufficiency, right? I'm trying to help people just be prepared, just be self-sufficient. Okay, so yeah, we're over 10 minutes. I just wanted to come on here and kind of give my feelings a little bit. It's not like my normal videos, but I just I wanted to give a little bit of insight. But I really, as much as I'm happy, as much as I'm joyful and thankful and everything like that, I just wanted to take a minute and be kind of serious and be like, look, guys, the time is now. There's an opportunity, a short window to where things are still calm and cool, and you can get things going. The next round of COVID's coming, guys. So I told, well, I don't know if I told you guys, but Facebook, anyways, yeah, and that's just one example, so it's time. Now's during this normalcy time, get yourself ready, get prepared. You don't need to prepare for the rest of your life. Shoot for 1 month in those categories, okay? And I'll have some videos coming to try and help you out. I'm trying to make a lot of videos in a lot of different places, guys. I never thought I'd be so diverse in everything for all these different types of videos that I'm making, but I'm trying to get them done. But I haven't said anything at all about preparedness. It's a big deal to me. That's kind of the core of what my channel is about. But I don't like to harp on it in a negative way, but it did need mentioning. So I know I'm babbling on a little bit, but this was important to me. I hope it's important to you. I don't like to see people suffer needlessly, so you can really give yourself a lot of comfort and a lot of really easy mentality, nights where you can sleep easy and rest easy, knowing that you've got a little something put away. And if you do 1 month, it gives you the time. I just got to finish with that. So if you've got 1 month, when people are scurrying to get all the stuff for the immediate needs, you can work on the stuff for the longer term needs. When people are scurrying to get, oh, I don't have enough water, I got to get a water filter, you got all that stuff in play. And then you can look at the longer term things. Well, when people are scurrying for that, who's thinking, well, stock up on seeds, and stock up on your microgreens and lettuces. All that stuff can be grown indoors easily, and so you have a sustainable food source. Just as one example, but you are able to go into long-term thinking, solve longer-term problems when people are still panicking in the immediate mode. So that's the other thing that the 1 month mentality gives you. So I hope that you don't find this boring. It's important to me to get this out, and I know it's not the happy, hey, it's Troy time kind of vibe on this one, but I wanted to particularly have this stand out as something that's important and that you need to do. So it is Troy time. It's time for people to take some action to get a little preparedness and sustainability on board in their life. So we'll show you as much as we can how to do that as efficiently, as cheaply as possible, because I want everyone involved in trying to have that little piece of their life, stop the chaos and have a little order and have a little preparedness and well-being, okay? So that's my spiel for today, guys. This is Troy time. I wish you the best. I'm out.